So Grasso Shevchenko 2 happened. Oh boy, what a match. So look, check this out. This is the reaction of Sean Shelby once Bruce Buffer announced the decision. Before he announced the decision, right? He found out from the judges. He climbed up into the octagon. He told Sean Shelby what the result is. Sean Shelby this was his reaction. What the fuck? So, I mean, that says a lot, really, honestly. I'm going to start off, I'm not going to beat around the bush. I think Valentina Shevchenko won that fight. She should hold the belt right now. We would have had a clear trilogy on our hands. We still might have a trilogy because how it ended, but yeah, it's really strange. It's really strange that Mike Bell scored 10-8. He gave it to Grasso in round 5. Everybody, from what I see in the comments, in the community, Twitter, social media, other YouTube channels, and everything in the comments, pretty much everybody agrees that that's an incorrect decision. That's outrageous. Scoring 10-8 to Grasso, when clearly Valentina was like, for a good, strong 4 minutes, was just jabbing the heck out of her, beating her on points, right? Inflicting damage. Then she... actually, my wife was watching with me, and she's like, you know what? She's going to go for a takedown now and secure the win. And I'm like, you know what? You're right. That's probably what she will do. That would be a good plan. And she did it. She went for the takedown. It's just she did not do the takedown properly. Immediately, Grasso reversed it, and she ended up being on top of her and almost TKOing Valentina. Now, that almost could be why he judged it 10-8. I'm trying to find the reason. Why would he judge it 10-8? I mean, is this legitimate? Is this a clear robbery? I mean, did he it's like he knew how the other two judges scored. One gave it to Val, one gave it to Alexa. You know what? I'm going to score at a draw, right? If we're talking about betting, right? There's people who bet on Grasso. There's people who bet on Valentina. Does anybody ever bet on a draw? No, I'm pretty sure nobody bets on a draw. I mean, if anybody bet on a draw, I mean, I want to find out who is that person. But I know who wins in that case. The house wins, right? The house wins if it's a draw. There's no question about it. And yeah, she gets to keep the belt. Everybody's happy. It's Mexican Independence Day. I mean, sure, you can look at it that way. I don't know if we can draw a conspiracy theory out of this. But I'm just trying to understand, how did Mike Bell come to a conclusion of 10-8? And then having said so, the lack of transparency when it comes to MMA judges, right? Sure, you can root, you can be a fan, you can be biased as a fan. You know, I'm a Valentina fan, I'm a Grasso fan. This is what happened, right? But now let's look at it from a neutral standpoint. Because honestly, I didn't really root for... I wanted to root for Grasso, but I didn't root for Grasso. I also wanted to root for Valentina, but I didn't really root for Valentina. I was really kind of in between. So I was trying to look at the fight as objectively as possible, right? So yes, you had Alexa Grasso knocking her down. I believe it was in the 3rd round, right? Or the 2nd. 2nd or 3rd round, she knocked her down, right? However, to credit Valentina, she did get up immediately, and she didn't appear to be wobbled. She was probably hurt, but she didn't appear to be as wobbled as people usually are after a knockdown, right? So, yeah, that happened. And I think Valentina utilized her jab way more compared to the first fight. And I would agree that Valentina won the 1st round. Grasso won the second round. And then Valentina won the 3rd and the 4th round. So coming into the 5th, it was 3-1 in my book. I think that she was already winning the fight. And I think it was definitely a 10-8 by Grasso. I'm sorry, a 10-9, not a 10-8. I don't see how it could be a 10-8. 10-8 by definition is if a fighter dominates the other fighter, doesn't TKO him, doesn't knock him out, but dominates the round, is a clear-cut winner of that round. I just didn't see that happening. I saw 3 to 4, maybe not 4, but 3 and something, not almost full 4 minutes of, if anything, not domination, but striking, and Alexa Grasso not doing anything, right? So I just don't understand the logic behind it. So I'm not happy with the decision. I think it's not good for the sport. It might be good for the organization because now we might have 4 fights, potential fights between these two. It may not be consecutive, but we might have another situation like we had with Brandon Moreno and David what's his name? Figueiredo, right? Figueiredo and Moreno, right? They have 4 fights. There was a draw, and then one of them kept the belt because it was a draw. The current champion keeps the belt. And I also do understand the argument where people say, you know what? You have to beat the champion in order to be a champion. You can't just win on points, but then again, you can, depending on the scorecards. Because if Mike Bell just scored a 10-9, that would have been a win by Shevchenko, without any question. Now, people also argue 4th round. Okay, sure, it wasn't a 10-8, but how did they score the 4th round? 4th round, I think it was clear. I think she did more damage. She inflicted more damage. She had more control time. I even checked the statistics. I went ahead and checked the 4th round statistics. She had 21 seconds more control time. It's not much, but it's more. Like I said, it was a close round, but I think Shevchenko takes the 4th round. And the first 3 rounds, I think we can all agree. First to Valentina, second to Grasso, Valentina third, and then I think it was 3-1 heading into the 5th. So I think the only way the Grasso would have won was by knocking out Valentina in the 5th round. But it went out in a complete different direction. So now when it comes to MMA judges in general, I actually, before this fight, not after this fight, I looked into the process. I was curious, how do you become an MMA judge? Maybe I wouldn't want to become an MMA judge, you know? So I looked into it and I didn't get really a clear answer as what do I need to do. I understand you have to go to your regional, your local body, the athletic commission that governs your state or the region, and then you have to get a license. But prior to that, how do I start the whole process? It's so vague. There's absolutely no transparency on that process. There's no like, oh, you go to this school, you finish this course, this is where you educate yourself. No, it's more like you go to a workshop, you go to a seminar, you get more knowledge, you network, you connect with other people, just like with other things. But this is education we're talking about. Like, where do I make that first step? What seminar? What workshop? How many? How much do I need to attend? How do I do it? There's no real answers. And we're just talking about becoming a judge, just doing it on an amateur level. Like, imagine going, going to any local event, being a judge there. What does it take to become that? Let alone getting into the high top tier where you're an actual judge for the UFC. Now, that seems like a secret club. How do you get there? How much are they really paid? How much are these people paid per fight? Is it per fight? Is it per event? It's very strange. It's really not transparent. And I think that's where the problem lies. I don't think adjusting the point system will fix it. I don't think adding more judges will fix the problem. This is not the first fight. We can all agree on that as well. This is not the first controversial victory or a draw or a loss by, that went to decision by the judges. And even the UFC says never leave it to the hands of the judges. Always do whatever you must do. Don't leave it to the judges. And that's been a thing for 20, 30 years now at this point, right? And so it was a problem in boxing in the past. Then in MMA, we got like, oh shit, this is a real thing. It's a problem. When it comes to the decision, there's going to be controversial decision. It's going to be that one judge that made an outrageous call. In this case, surprisingly, it wasn't Sal. Sal was on that card. Okay, sure, people will disagree with him. Why did he score the 4th round? In this case, I agree. 4th round goes to Shevchenko. I agree with Sal. I agree with Mike Bell on that judgment. The 3rd judge, however, no, he gave the 4th round to Grasso. He had it a win for Grasso. We can also question that, but it's a strange thing, and I don't really know where the resolution and how do we fix this problem, right? Because I think currently how it stands, it benefits all parties, right? It benefits the organization. I think unless it impacts the duration directly, they won't really make a fuss about it. It won't change. Sure, the fans will complain and you can see like, hey, you know what? I think Valentina won this. I think she was robbed. And it changes careers, changes lives. It does suck, Sure, you could always say, yeah, Valentina was interviewed before the fight. She says she's going to dominate. She's not going to make the mistake or the same mistake she did as in the first fight. But she did not. She beat her, in my book, in a lot of books she beat her, but not to a point where it didn't go to the scorecards. I think actually, I hate to say it really, but I think AI might be the solution for judging. Maybe for referees, judges across the board in sports for the future. I think we will have AI. And AI will be unbiased. If anybody's unbiased, it's going to be the AI. You cannot corrupt the AI. I mean, you can set up the software so it can be running in a screwed up process. But if we have a software that works the same way from day one to eternity, nobody touches it. Nobody has that key to open it and change the AI. I think that might be the solution. I hate to say it, really. I think the future with less humans, more robots, and more artificial intelligence is pretty depressing. I think we will lose a lot as a civilization in that sense. But I think that we won't really have if it's correct judging by the AI, and if it's, maybe we will still complain about the AI decisions. I'm pretty sure we will, but, maybe we can all agree that they're more accurate than humans in that sense. Maybe that's the solution. We will see in the future. But let me know what you guys think. How did you guys score this? First of all, you have to tell me first in the comments. Are you neutral or are you a fan? Because if you're a fan, you're biased. By definition, you're biased. So you can't really give me the right call. But yeah, sure, some people are going to be more objective than others. Tell me about the fourth. I think we can all agree about the first 3 rounds, right? I hope so. But I think the 4th round, where I will disagree with most people, is that it went to Shevchenko. And 5th round, it seems like we can all also agree that Grasso won the round in the end, but not by 10-8. Let me know, please. If you'd like this video, subscribe to Octacage MMA. Give me a thumbs up. I'll see you in the next one.